Hey everyone, welcome. Happy holidays. I'm sharing with you today a perfectly lovely Christmas ornament. I made this beautiful ornament for someone in memory of her father, and I thought I would take you with me while I made it in the event that you may wish to create an ornament in memory of someone precious in your life, or perhaps make an ornament for a friend or a family member in honor of someone precious in their life. Let me show you how I created this beautiful ornament. I used this glass ornament that I purchased in the craft section at Hobby Lobby. It comes in a container with 4 ornaments. I'm going to be using this little glass bowl that I purchased at Dollar Tree with some stones in it because it serves as just a great pedestal to work on my glass ornament. And you'll need that because otherwise it will be rolling around the table. You can also use a solo cup, which I just showed you there. I have here some white diamond glitter. I'm going to be glittering the inside of this ornament. I also have some polyacrylic here. I like to put mine in a squirt bottle. This is the can that it came in. I use this brand. I believe I purchased this at Walmart. Although I'm sure Home Depot or any store such as that would have the same thing. I have here some letters and numbers that I purchased in the Paper Studio section of Hobby Lobby. Now, you could as well do the lettering on a Cricut, but I'm going to show you how to do the lettering if you don't have a Cricut. I have here this gorgeous gold ribbon that I purchased in the sewing department at Hobby Lobby. I have here some little charms, 2 of them, because I'm actually making 2 ornaments today. And it is a heart and it says love on it. I have a little bit of gold thread here that I picked up at Hobby Lobby in the department with the embroidery floss. I have a funnel, which I'll be using to place the glitter to go inside of my ornament. I took a solo cup and I cut out ridges on both sides or openings on both sides. And this I'm going to use to rest my ornament in while the polyacrylic is draining out. This works great for this purpose. So I'm going to remove the cap from my glass ornament. Now you can leave the prongs, if you will, in there and just go ahead and snip off some of the edges. You just don't want it scratching against your glitter finish. So you could take some wire cutters and just trim that up a little bit. I took mine out, but I ended up putting it back in. Just wasn't sure if my ornament hanger was going to fit through that little ring, but I did end up placing it back in there. You can do that. You can pull it out and then replace it if you like. But you do want to trim it down a little bit, maybe like a 1/2 inch, those little wire prongs, because they could scratch the inside of the ornament where the glitter is. So I put about 3 good squirts of polyacrylic inside of my ornament. One of the reasons why I love putting my polyacrylic in a squirt bottle. So I put my finger over the opening and I want to give the inside of that ornament a really good coating. So I take my time and I roll around that solution inside of that ornament until I'm absolutely sure it's extremely well coated. Now, once you've decided that you've coated it very well, you turn it upside down in that cup and let that excess drain out. Then I leave it about 5 to 10 minutes to let that just drain. And now I'm just dabbing off the opening of that ornament just to be sure I don't get any polyacrylic dripping down the sides of my ornament. And now it's time to apply the glitter. So I put my funnel in there and I'm just going to dump some glitter in. You can see it going in the bottom. I just put a good amount in there. Don't worry if you put too much, and you can always add some if you didn't put enough. You'll be able to tell because the ornament won't be coated as much as it could be on the inside if you put too little. If you put a lot, don't worry, you're not going to waste it. You can always dump it back into your glitter container. Now I roll around my ornament for a good while, and I just want that all completely and evenly coated. So I put my finger over the opening and I even coat up inside of the rim of where the cap goes. But like I said, I spend a good amount of time on this part because I want it evenly, that glitter evenly distributed. And you can see I have excess rolling around inside of that ornament, and that's fine. Anything I don't use, I just dump back into my glitter jar. Now you can use any kind of glitter that you like. You can use a chunky glitter or you can use a very fine glitter. There's different types of glitter. You can even use a combination of fine glitter with a chunky glitter. That would create a really pretty interior finish of that glitter. So just be creative in how you apply your glitter. So I have my interior all coated with the glitter now. Now I'm going to take my Aleene's Tacky Glue and I'm going to coat the inside wall and a little bit of around the top with that tacky glue. Now once you trim off the prongs of that hanger, the wire prongs, you're not going to be guaranteed that that cap will remain on there. So that's the reason why we glue the cap on. So I have this gorgeous ribbon. It's really quite unique. This ribbon is very heavy, very sturdy, very beautiful. It's very textured. It has a beautiful texture to it. Now, the one problem with this ribbon, though, however, is the flip side of the ribbon is not gold. This is going to be a problem on my ornament. So, when there's a problem, I find a solution. And that solution is going to be, I'm going to take a fine stream of tacky glue and go up and down the sides of the ribbon. And I'm going to apply another piece of the same ribbon on top of it. Make sure it's evenly on there and pressed together. And I'm going to go up and down the entire length of that section. I actually unrolled the entire roll of the ribbon, cut it in half, and then I just applied glue to those areas of that ribbon to adhere it together. I did cut off a piece that I thought would be the approximate size of the hanger, because I am going to make my hanger out of this ribbon as well. So being that I want my hanger thinner than I want the bow to be, the loops of the bow, I just folded it in half because I don't want the weight showing on that either. So I'd stream a little bit of Aleene's Tacky Glue all up and down that piece. And I'm going to be doing that twice because I'm doing 2 ornaments. But for you, if you're just doing one, it would obviously just be 1 ornament. I'm also doing 2 of those strips of ribbon there because, as you can see, I'm doing 2 ornaments. But maybe you would be doing 2 ornaments as well. So just do what's good for you and what your needs are. So in order to keep that folded up and for the glue to adhere, I put it underneath something heavy and just let it dry like that. Now, those prongs, you can see them there. That's what I was talking about, the wire prongs. Just snip those off. I want to say maybe not quite a 1/2 inch, but maybe a little bit less than a 1/2 inch. Those, like I said, can be reinserted. In fact, I ended up doing that. Now, whatever words you want on your ornament, you need to plan that out accordingly so that you get everything straight and balanced on your ornament. So I always write it out. I count my letters. I figure out where the middle is of each line. And then I use that as a guide when I start placing my letters. Now I want to start with the center of my ornament, especially the word dad, because that's going to be all in capital letters and it's going to be right in the middle. So that's going to be like my guideline to keep me centered on everything else I put on this ornament. Now I'll tell you, these stick-on letters are awesome. You can make a mistake. You can get a letter too high or too low, and you simply take your little craft tweezers and you can just pull it right up off the ornament. Trust me, I had to do that a few times. Okay, it's not easy creating a straight line on an ornament that's got a curve. So I had to really apply a lot of concentration to get this just right on both ornaments. Once I did one, though, it made it a little easier for the next one. So I have all my letters applied there, and I also have little numbers at the bottom. That's the birth numbers. And I used a different stickers for that. Again, I got those at Hobby Lobby, same department. Okay, so every time I do an ornament, a handmade ornament of this nature, I always wrap the cap. I love to finish every possible aspect of an ornament. If I'm dressing up an ornament, I want it to look the best it can possibly look and as finished as it can possibly look. So I took a strip of that gold ribbon that I folded in half so that both sides would be gold. And I'm just going to wrap that around the cap, use a little bit of hot glue, and I begin that process in the back of the ornament so that my seam around the cap is in the back. Now, working with this very stiff ribbon was a little bit challenging, but I intentionally used a very stiff ribbon because this is going to be stored away with other ornaments, and I wanted it to be very sturdy on that piece. In the event that it gets somehow squashed amongst other ornaments, which makes me a little crazy to think of it. I'm so picky about bows. Oh my gosh. So anyway, back to the ornament. I just wanted to pick a super, super sturdy ribbon. That ribbon was very sturdy to begin with, and then when I double-sided it with the same ribbon, then it was really sturdy. You could, though, as well use a ribbon that's not as stiff. A satin ribbon, I mean like a real satin ribbon, would be gorgeous on here. as well. So creating this bow, I just wanted one loop on each side, or just a 2-loop bow. I don't want a big bow on this piece. I wanted it simple but yet elegant and very classy looking. That's why I chose this absolutely beautiful gold textured ribbon. I wish you could see it up close and see how really gorgeous it is. Again, I got this in the sewing department at Hobby Lobby. So I just created 2 loops, and I was a little undecided about exactly the method I was going to use to create these 2 loops. So I'm kind of doing a little trial and error maneuver here, just trying to figure out what's best, because I have to place that bow on top of the ornament by the cap, and I have to figure out how I am going to arrange the tails so that it does not interfere with the words. So in doing so, I was just trying to figure out the best method to create my 2-loop bow. So I decided the length of my tail, and I decided to continue doing the bow in the same way that I always do my bows. I pinched the area where I was happy with the length of the tail right there, what I'm doing right now. Folded it over, pinched it in the middle, twisted the ribbon, and then folded it over again. Now I'm going to be placing that little heart charm right in the center, so I don't need anything in the center. I don't need a center loop or a button. I do use a gold tinsel pipe cleaner to put down the center. So I went ahead with my bow as is, and then I figured I will figure out how to arrange those tails around the wording once I get the bow on the piece. I'm going to be angling the tails on my bow, and you can see that there. And I'm going to hot glue that gold heart charm right in the center of each of my bows. Now, I don't put it straight up and down. I tilted it a little bit to the side. I just liked it like that. And now I'm using my needle nose pliers, which I love to use when I want something really, really strongly adhered. I use those because I wanted that to be really, really glued, very, very secure on the center of that bow. And now I'm applying my hanger. And those are the pieces that I folded in half and applied the glue to. And I will get my hand out of the way here in just a second. Sometimes I just get absorbed, and I need to remember to make sure you see as well. So I'm just going to fold my ribbon and overlap it like you see I'm doing there. And I'm just going to take my hot glue. And speaking of hot glue, on a ornament like this, I always urge the recipient of the ornament to store this in a place that is not beastly hot, like an attic in Florida where I live. I mean, we do have some hot glue on this ornament, and besides, it's really a precious ornament, a very special ornament. It needs to be stored appropriately. And I'm using my little needle nose pliers. Again, I love these. I use them often. And I just overlapped my ribbon for the hanger. And after I do that, I am going to move that seam where I put together the ribbon or the hanger, and I just move it down and apply it to the cap. That way it's concealed and you don't see the seam where you closed that ribbon. I put a little dab of glue there as well, just to hold that, let it sit right on the cap. It's actually sitting underneath the ring of that hanger that's sitting on top of the cap. And you see how this is coming together. It's just really beautiful. And there are so many options for an ornament like this. The wording, the color of the wording, whether to use a cricket, whether not to use a cricket, whether to choose letters, sticker letters at the craft store, different color ribbons. You could do ribbons in a person's favorite color. You could do satin ribbons. You could do silver. You could do just whatever you like. Make it individual, make it special, make it precious. This ornament is a very precious piece on a Christmas tree. It will be taken out every year and remembered fondly. So give it lots of attention and love when you make the ornament. Now I am starting that process of playing around with my bow tails. And I placed my bow on the cap, and I'm going to do this one now. And I want to set that bow as high as I possibly can on the cap. I put lots of hot glue there. And the reason why I want to set it as high as possible is because I have to arrange those tails around the words. If the words had been smaller, yes, it would have been easier, but this is what it is, and I think it looks just beautiful like it is. So I'm just going to work it and figure out the tails, and then I just tack them down once I do, and here it is, the finished ornament. You can see how I moved the tails off to the side. You can see all the wording, and there's the texture on that ribbon. You can see it now. So beautiful. I hope you feel inspired to make an ornament like this. If you're new to my channel, I hope you will consider subscribing and give this video a thumbs up. And until next time, you all take care.